Hi, welcome back to Rhino Fishing TV. This is primarily a bass fishing channel, but I'll also occasionally do an unboxing or a product review. And today I'm going to review the Piscifun, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, line spooling station. And the actual product name is the line spooler. And it's a gadget designed for you to load line onto your fishing reels by yourself, either spinning reels or Baitcasters. And I'm going to give this thing a shot. I picked it up during Amazon Prime Day. It ordinarily retails for about $34, but on Amazon Prime Day I picked it up for $18.99, I think, so I think it was a pretty good deal if it works okay. So I'm going to spool both a spinning reel and a bait casting reel, and I'll walk through each step per the directions, and then let's see how it goes. Alright, first of all, let's talk about the packaging. It comes in a nice little plastic clamshell type of package, and you can see all of the product. It's not one of those painful, welded together plastic types of packages that you have to get a knife and something sharp to open up. It's just thin plastic, and it's stapled to a piece of cardboard that's kind of laminated. But on the back of it, it's got everything you need to know about the product, a breakdown of the parts and what they're called, and there's 4 main pieces: a rotor, top screw, middle knob, and the 2 spool supporting bushing. And it spells all that out, and it tells you what each piece is used for. I like that. It's pretty straightforward. And then down below, it gives you step-by-step directions for how to spool a bait casting and a spinning reel. 5 steps for the bait casting and 6 for the spinning. And there's lines marked around those directions so that you can cut those out and store them for future reference, and I like that. Alright, so I'm going to spool up a spinning reel first, and I've got that sitting here. But first, let's get this thing out of the package and see what's what. Looks like I just have 3 staples to pop. 1 at the bottom and 2 at the top. And then the little cardboard thingy comes right out. It's got the directions on it, and it is nice and laminated, so I don't think you need to worry about getting it wet, which is nice. And let's see if we can figure out how to put the thing together. It's got a little plastic Ziploc bag here with a couple of screws in it. They are calling them, not sure. Let's see if we can figure it out. So here's the handle part. It just pops right on. There's the reel seat. If I'm going to do a spinning reel, this part right here needs to be facing down. So I'll put the reel seat also facing down for spinning. Would be nice if they kind of like had a couple little arrows here to line these things up, but this will work, I guess. The upper part is already assembled, and I just have to figure out what all these things are about. Okay, so going through the directions for spinning, it says to tie some line on the reel. Yeah, I've already done that. I have some monofilament backing on there. I'm going to put braid on this little spinning reel. So it says tie some line on the reel first. I've done that. Tighten the top screw cap and keep the rotor parallel to the frame before loading line spool to the rotor. So parallel to the frame, which is, I think, what that means, laying flat like that. And I'm going to tighten the top screw, which is that screw right there. Turn the middle knob to get proper tension between the round bushing and line spool. The middle knob is that guy to get the proper tension. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means yet, and it's never really told me to put the spool of line on there. So I'm assuming that I need to do that now. I'm going to be putting 8-pound braid on this reel, if I have enough of it. I see now. That knob actually increases or decreases the distance between these two little balls here that go onto the line spool. So let's tighten that down a little bit. I don't know, that ought to be pretty good. Now, let me go ahead and get this tied off to the reel. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my reel on here and I've got the line spool on there, and the next step in the directions say loose the top screw cap when the rotor can spin itself. And I'm not sure about English being a primary language here for this thing, but I believe they're talking about that screw right there so that it can turn. And then it says start spooling the line. So I'm going to start cranking on the handle and see how this goes. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. That whole thing just kind of spins, and in theory I believe that's supposed to eliminate the line twist going onto your reel. We will see how that works out on the water. Kind of reminds me of that device that they dropped Jodie Foster through in that movie Contact. But this is pretty nice. I like the tension that it's holding on to the line there. Alright, that is it. I have used all the line on that spool. Not quite sure that it's enough on there, but I'll go with it for now. I like the way that worked for the spinning reel. So we'll get the Baitcaster ready to go next and see how that goes. Alright, here we go. I think I'm all set up to spool up the Baitcaster, and the directions tell me tie some line on the reel first. I've already done that, you don't need to see me do that. Tighten the top screw cap and keep the rotor parallel to the frame before loading line spool to the rotor. Alright, so according to the picture, I think I've done that right here. I've turned this parallel to the frame, and I've tightened this screw so that that can't spin. And I believe that's the only difference between doing a bait casting versus a spinning reel. With the spinning reel, that was loose, so that thing was free to rotate, and in this case it's going to be kind of held rigid by that screw. So it tells me to now load the line spool to the rotor, and according to the picture they've got the line coming off from the bottom, and I don't really know that it matters with the Baitcaster, but we will load it up that way. And you just open up these arms and put that thing in there, and kind of got to get a feel for the tension here, and that feels pretty good to me. I don't think that's gonna, you know, like backlash or anything, but we can tighten it down a little bit. That's pretty good. Now it tells me to attach the reel to the handle. So I've got my Lew's Tournament MB here. And tighten that thing down. And I think we're good to go. I'm putting 14-pound monofilament on this reel. And I think that's all there is to it. So I'm going to start spooling. And if I stop, that reel doesn't keep spinning, so that's great. And this is working real nice. I've got another line spooling station that's made by Berkley, and I did a review on that, I don't know, almost a couple of years ago, and I'll leave a link up above to that video. This is much nicer than that. It's smaller and more compact, much easier to set up. And also that Berkley one had a little rubber pad on a spring-loaded tension arm that left little bits of rubber on my fishing line because I think it was heating up a little bit because of the friction from the fishing line. This is going on real nice and smooth. I'm going to make sure I get it nice and full. I took the opportunity to go ahead and do some cleaning on my reel and oiled it up real nice. And I am almost to the bevel on that spool, so I am going to stop it right there and call that good. I give this product a thumbs up. I don't see any reason that I wouldn't recommend it. It'd be really great if you could catch it on sale like I did. One thing I just figured out, these extra pieces here, they're calling it the 2 spool support bushings. The directions tell you that this is made for spools, possibly bulk spools that have, you know, wider little through holes through them, or even narrow spools. It looks like you put those things in there, and then these little arms fit in those little slots. If you liked this video, please leave me a thumbs up down there. Comment any questions you might have of things that I didn't cover or explain clearly. And appreciate you watching. And if you haven't done so already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Appreciate your support. Take care and tight lines.